bright new day to you. Good morning and welcome to Signature Morning on Signature TV. It's another day to look at stories making the headlines, stories that affect us, affect our people and our homes, all of us as Nigerians. You're very much welcome. Today is Tuesday, the 18th day of November 2025. Quinsley, good morning.
Good morning, Uche. Good morning, everyone out there. Oh, so many things have been happening in Nigeria. It's like you just sleep and wake up and
A lot
the
of
world
things, yeah.
turns upside down. This case of dozens of school girls abducted in Kebbi, it's an alarming situation,
that's
and I'm
sad
worried.
one.
It's something that happened at about 4 a.m. and even the death of the principal because he tried to interface with the
attackers.
I don't even know what to call
Well,
them.
they are called bandits now, so let's just say bandits, and they were said to be armed with a lot of sophisticated weapons.
It's the sophisticated that caught my attention. How do they have access to such weapons, sophisticated ones like that?
These are the security issues that we need to look into, honestly, because I keep saying it. This is why we are being called a country of particular concern when we can't explain certain things that happen, particularly in our security system. It's very worrying. It's a very worrying situation.
I mean, if you want to even think about the people involved, the parents, even the girls themselves, how scared they are.
It just
what
reminds
they are
me of
doing
Chibok
to them.
girls.
Exactly,
and
and
how
it was in 2014, or when did that happen? And I think it's about 11 years now. And
I hope this
happening
doesn't
again.
happen. I hope it's not a repeat of what happened again, but hopefully we get positive information moving on. Thank you for joining us. I am Uchenna Chimdi Oluoha.
And I am Quinsley Roland. When we come back, we will have a newspaper headlines and a review. Stay with us.
You're welcome back. It's time to look at the headlines on our dailies this morning, starting with the Daily Trust newspaper. We can see on the headlines dozens of schoolgirls abducted in Kebbi.
And we have the federal government inches towards inflation targets.
Taraba speakers, 15 PDP lawmakers defect to APC.
And the media veteran Dan Abase dies at 81.
Make justice affordable, accessible to poor, Tinubu tells judges.
We also have the gunmen kill brigade commander in Borno State.
And a Cameroon opposition candidate declares self-president-elect.
And 2 children die as fire guts building in Rivers. That's really sad. And over to the Blueprint newspaper. Boldly written is, Go rescue 25 KB college girls, Tinubu other security agencies.
We have that analysts react as Nigeria's inflation drops to 16.05% in October.
We also have justice must never be for sale, digital transparent judiciary a necessity, says Tinubu. I think we have that report on our YouTube page as well.
Right, and now we see that Imo Abia traders confirm drop in price of food items, and Dangote Cement tops Nigeria's tax compliance chart again.
Okay, so analysts react as Nigeria's inflation drops to 16.05% in October.
Let's look at the Nation newspaper. We see that still on the rescue of the 25 pupils, Tinubu orders manhunt for abductors and say vice principal killed during dawn attack on Kebbi Girls School. We'll bring them back, says governor. You can find all of that on page 2.
So we have Taraba Speaker, 16 lawmakers, ex-Kogi Governor Idris Wada defect to APC.
Factions head for showdown at PDP Secretariat with riders. Different camps plan meeting for National Secretariat. Turaki, Wike, Anyanwu, others remain expelled.
We have Obasanjo Fayose back at war. I thought Obasanjo had forgiven him like 2 days ago. Oh, yesterday also. Interesting. And also we have tribute flow as journalism icon Agbese dies at 81.
Federal government to hire new health fellows on page 2, and on page 7, Lagos's 200 billion naira bond oversubscribed by 55%.
We also have Weekend and the Rule of Law by J.B. Daudu. This is on the page 11. And President salutes Oyebamiji at 60.
On the Punch newspaper, looking at the headlines, we can see that 2024 capital projects stall 2026 budget plan, and on page 33, we see that inflation hit 3-year low at 16.05%.
We also have PDP headquarters show that Makinde Wike factions hold rival next session today.
Tension as Lagos street urchins stab Air Force officer.
Okay, go ahead.
FG receives Benin bronzes repatriated from US.
We have the Lagos bond subscription hit 310 billion naira. So over to the Nigerian Tribune, we have boldly written FG to security agencies, 25 schoolgirls abducted in KB must be rescued with rider. Police deploy tactical team for rescue operations. ISWAP intercepts army signal, kills commander in Borno. Troops hit terrorist enclave. Quail farmer header clash in northwest and north central. And this is on the page 3.
Still on the page 3, Fayose abuses Obasanjo again, accuses him of making very irresponsible comments at his birthday. Your message reveals you are unchanged and unchangeable, Obasanjo replies.
And from the health, we have scientists announce game-changing vaccine for Lassa fever, and it's on the page 2.
Ahead of Governor Kefas's defection, Taraba Assembly Speaker, 15 others dump PDP for APC.
And we have why Southwest must back Tinubu to win second term, says Yoruba group.
At PDP, despite expulsion, Wike faction summons NEC BOT meetings today.
Okay, so over to the next paper. The Guardian, boldly written, is declining food prices, firmer naira pull inflation to 15% national target.
Genocide, US lawmaker alleges Tinubu lying, protecting own interest.
We have the 16 Taraba PDP lawmakers join APC ahead of Kefas.
Wike military land feud, Dauda insists on rule of law.
NIMC issues 124 million NINs as poor interagencies relations stall data harmonization.
Now, looking at the Vanguard newspaper, we see that tension in Enugu community as Governor Mba's kinsmen protest alleged military invasion.
And we have the food inflation still rising, but at slower pace, with also Akpabio and Mark Shehu others mourn as media icon Dan Agwese dies at 81.
Pope warns against escalating violence, persecution against Christians in Nigeria.
And from the sports angle, we have Eric Chell accuses Congo DR for using voodoo. That's a strong accusation. Is it really voodoo?
Well,
we're unprepared. Okay, so what other thing is new here?
Taraba Speaker, 15 PDP Assembly members defect to PDP. So I think that is all we have on the headlines this morning. And it's time for our review. And we have Austin Onunkwa with us in the studio this morning. Good morning and very much welcome.
Good morning, Austin.
Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Presley.
Okay, so let's talk about the thing that's been making rounds on all the papers, the abduction of the schoolgirls in KB. What do you think about it? And let's have in mind that they have an army checkpoint just before the school, and they had security persons as well. So, and this happened at about 4 a.m. and they still got away with about 52 girls.
Yeah.
How many of them? Shouldn't we be worried?
Well, of course, every reasonable person ought to be worried about this. We have lived with this sad commentary over the years, and its resurgence at this point is very worrisome and concerning. And the issue is that it has also damaged our image locally and abroad. And all that we get from government when these things happen is they must. We earmark, we don't earmark some of these concerns. You see, it's just not enough for the government to say they must be rescued. This has been said over and over, and instead of getting those now abducted, rescued, more and more are being abducted. Imagine 145 in the past 2 days or 3 days. It's alarming, and it's shameful thing to a country like Nigeria. It doesn't tell good about our developmental trajectory. honestly, it's unfortunate.
It's quite unfortunate, honestly. And then there is an interesting one between Fayose and Obasanjo. A couple of days ago, we heard that they are finally in good terms. And now we're seeing that Fayose is abusing Obasanjo again, accusing him of making very irresponsible comments on his birthday. And Obasanjo as well is replying, telling Fayose that he's unchangeable and he hasn't changed. So it seems they are back at war.
It's unfortunate. These should be adults. These were former leaders, one former president, one former governor, and for them to consider themselves as irritants, as far as I'm concerned, is most uncalled for. Obasanjo, as a statesman, as an elder, should know how to manage his words. You know, Fayose is also a rabble-rouser that talks anyhow, at times talking tongue-in-cheek without checking the import of what he says. In African culture, we have this standard of respecting the elders. He must not respond to whatever Obasanjo says. And Obasanjo, on his own part, should watch what he says. Because everybody, if you wound my ego, I think I deserve the right to also respond accordingly. So nobody has that model for interfacing or exchange or engagement with anybody. So if you know that I will give it back to you, then you be careful the way you give it to me. That's what I have to say about that.
Okay, so we have the, I don't know how to, is it the slaughtering of a military personnel that obviously is a brigade general, so, and it's not worrisome that even at that level they could actually get to him and do away with it?
It's unfortunate Nigerians who are beginning to pretend or live in a kind of animal kingdom where force is right. Savagery is not part of humanity, but we have been engaging in savagery over the years, and it is tended to become a part of us, which is unfortunate. How can you? What does it take? If you know what it takes to get a general to the level he is, and some urchins will just come and waste his life. I don't know what to call them. You know, you see, I don't know how to describe them, but it's unfortunate. Somebody at that level in the military, a lot must have been invested to get into where he is. And somebody somewhere, some nuisance, people without human value, will come and waste his life that way. It's most unfortunate. And it also tells to our security architecture, we have not done enough to protect, even those who protect us can't even protect themselves.
Exactly.
So when ambush is laid and the person as high ranking as a general is just killed for no cause, then how safe are we? How safe are we? It's unfortunate. May his soul rest in peace.
Okay, since we are talking about death, we have the death of the media veteran Dan Agbese, who just died at 81. I mean, that's, you know, a good life that he has lived at 81.
Yeah.
How would this affect the journalism world in Nigeria at large?
Yeah, this is a monumental loss to the media profession because of the antecedents of Dan Agbese. I believe, if I'm right, he was part of those who pioneered private media in Nigeria through Newswatch, and he was a prolific writer and analyst, and he also propped up and mentored a lot of developing talents, young talents that he met along the way. With the advent of independent media, people that he trained now moved to Guardian, some moved to Vanguard, some now moved to other fledgling newspapers in the late 80s and 90s, until he somehow, somewhere along the line, they went underground. And of course, I think from Newswatch, at the point, I think they moved to establish TEL. I guess I'm right. And of course, during the course of his journalism practice, he contributed a lot to national development. He was one of the few who were bold enough to speak truth to power through their write-ups, and that encouraged a lot of young professionals to grow. May his soul rest in peace. He will surely be missed.
Of course he will. That's quite a good one from him. Now let's talk about the PDP. We've been talking about the PDP for a couple of days now, particularly in terms of their convention. But now we're seeing that factions head for showdown at PDP Secretariat. And a very funny one says different camps plan meeting for National Secretariat. So it seems like there is still trouble brewing. Turaki fixes meeting at the same venue and says we are ready to lay down our lives for democracy. So Wike's faction is summoning NEC BOT meeting today. Turaki is also fixing meeting at the same venue. It's a lot is going on.
Yeah, a lot of gerrymandering and chicanery is going on in PDP, and that is what you get in politics. But then I say that PDP is falling like a pack of cards because they failed to do the needful when there was need for it. They allowed the lingering crisis to fester for too long. They didn't even respect their own constitution. They didn't respect their own laws. They didn't raise the hammer when they needed to raise the hammer. They allowed Wike to linger with his inadequacies and double standards over the time. I kept wondering why Wike was left there for too long. Wike cannot be a double-edged sword. As far as I'm concerned, Wike has been a mole in the PDP since the dispensation of this current government. And PDP, whether he has been their father, their chief financier, or their mother, or their chief cook, they should have wielded the big stick long ago and addressed a spade by its name and not a garden spoon. Nobody should be bigger than any organization where he belongs. So for them to allow Wike to grow his wings, and now he's able to fly without perching, and he has become a behemoth that they cannot deal with, they have to know how to contend with his nuisance level that is he has constituted to the party. And it's most unfortunate. A PDP that was the largest party in Africa prior to the loss of the election under Jonathan now has become a pack of cards that is falling without direction.
But do you think they can come back from this situation?
No,
because
no,
a lot of them are defecting already.
No, they will never. They will never. They can rejig the party and start afresh, or maybe a change of name. With the way things are gone, a lot of people have jumped ship. It's difficult to get them on board the ship of PDP again, and allowing the factions. And of course, INEC has a role to play in this. INEC must come clean and say this is the recognized faction, this is the faction to recognize following their constitution. And of course, they allow that internal contradiction to decimate them, so much so that coming back will be a tall order. To my own
so you're saying the PDP that we knew
is gone and gone forever.
Gone forever.
We are talking about maybe the funeral ceremony as far as I can.
Okay, that is really interesting. So yesterday, NFF issued an apology to Tinubu concerning what happened with the Congo match. And also we have Tinubu is also telling them to recover the lost victory. He's telling the Super Eagles, well, do you really think there's any need to cry over spilled milk at this point?
How do you recover a victory that has been lost?
Exactly.
It's a difficult thing to do, but apparently Tinubu meant that, of course, the Nation Cup is still ahead, that they should prepare well and do better in their Nations Cup matches. But then the match we lost against Congo, I saw it coming. We were most unorganized. After 10 minutes of that match, I saw how organized the Congolese were, and they soaked our pressure for some time and now came out. And with their organization, I knew it would come.
So it's
but as a patriot, I was still hopeful that Nigeria will find a way around them. But in the game of football, is when you get organized, if you prepare better than your opponent, you win. If you get your acts together better than your opponent, you win. Your technique, your match plan, everything. I would say apparently their match plan went well for them, and there's nothing anybody can do. You have lost, you have lost. We'll think of our preparation. I don't even know why we should go for a foreign coach, a Malian for that matter, where we have enormous talent in Nigeria. We have our retired players, we have all of them. Most of them have trained themselves and improved upon themselves after retirement from football. Let our patriots fail us. We can manage that than a foreigner who is not better than those we have at home failing us with his humongous pay. it is all about what I call maybe prebendalism, money sharing. You know, they get them give them conditions. My friend, 10%, and if I say you must play Queensley in a particular match, you play that. Let a Nigerian do it for us. Who can manage that?
We're having the same foreigner, Eric
Shell,
saying that it's them Congo used voodoo.
Voodoo, exactly. So.
I don't know. That is just maybe he's hallucinating. Quite a very, very, very unimaginative statement. In an internet age, somebody is talking about voodoo in football. It's unfortunate, and I think he has apologized for that. I think he has apologized to the Congolese for that. That is very, very unbecoming statement for somebody to say in this year and age, where football is going scientific, so to say, in quotes, and you're talking of voodoo. Are we in the primitive stage? Get your ass together, get your technical inputs, get your technical qualities, and of course, get your team, monitor them, supervise them, let them have the adequate training facility and the discipline needed to play a match. When you get this together and you make sure your selection are based on merit, then we have the numbers, we have the quality to engage even the best teams in the world. But harnessing them together has been our major challenge. And of course, we have to live with it. We watch others on through the tube when the World Cup is on. Of course, we are not going to win just to participate. And of course, the boys would have improved on their rating, their income, and general rating in the world of football. It's unfortunate.
Right. So now bringing it back to Enugu State, we see that tension in Enugu community as Governor Mba's kinsmen protest alleged military invasion. I wonder what that is about.
Whatever the factors are, the thing is that apparently, you know, usually there are places that over time are marked military zone around many cities and communities. So, and I don't think the military on their own would just decide to go and grab land in a community where the governor of the state comes from. So, and raising false alarms until we get to the gist, we get the factors that are playing out. One cannot run into conclusion on this matter because the military is a respectable and professional institution. They have not heard of them going into land grabbing for no just cause. So it's better we leave it at that. The governor may have to interface because he's now a participant observer because his community is involved. And I don't think them using even the headline or whatever I see as a bit sensational, if calling it military invasion. Who has been abducted, who has been taken away, has there been an occupation in the real sense of it? Apparently it's an empty land that has marked military zone or whatever. We're hoping to be developed in the future, and they're saying it. I believe things will pan out well in the long run.
Okay, so looking at other things that has also cropped out, the security fears deepen over schoolgirls' abduction and the slain general amid the new assault. And also, we've also been informed that 145 has gone missing in just 4 days. I mean, this is a situation that we had tried to debunk when Trump called Nigeria a country of particular concern. And then it seems like just after that statement, things started to skyrocket again. Like everything just became worse from, I mean, having 145 people missing in just 4 days. What would happen when we get to a week?
Nigeria as a country, we are an amalgam of nation states, and with people doing things their own way, and until we are kind of what Abolowo described as forced amalgamation, describing Nigeria as a geographical expression. People went their ways. This thing that is happening, especially in the Northwest, when it started, they started as if it's something that will evaporate sooner or later, you know, from street begging. There was this caption by Dele Shobowale in his column on Vanguard newspaper, page 13 precisely, from begging to banditry. What started as banditry has now been escalated to abductions and kidnapping. Because those who were on the streets begging in the northwest and other parts of that region, of the northern region, have seen how lucrative it is to now do the thing themselves. Yeah. Instead of coming to beg Queensley to give me a penny, I now abduct Uche and say and demand and dictate what should be given to me. They did it for some time, and with the politicians playing along, using them for political ends, now could not control them anymore. This thing has expanded. They grew wings, went into the bush, saw the need, the gains that are there. And of course, the way we started treating it with our security forces, they also, at a point, I remember they cried blue murder, that their people are being killed for nothing. The same northern leaders. Kwame Hejirika was the chief of army staff, that their people are being killed unnecessarily. Today, what is happening? The chicken must come back to roost. And it's unfortunate, the military, I don't know, we are still treating it with kid gloves, and that led to what America said, the pronouncement, Nigeria being a country of particular concern. Whether it is attached to genocide or not, that is not a matter for discourse. What we want in Nigeria is peace for everybody. If you are a atheist, if you are a Christian, if you are a Muslim, if you are a Buddhist, let there be peace.
Well, thank you so much, Austin Onukwo, for your review this morning. It's a pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Of course, we have come to the end of our newspaper review today. If you are just joining us, you missed a lot, but it's no cause for alarm. You can rewind and watch, or you can visit our YouTube page for when it is uploaded. Thank you once again for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, we'll go on a short break, and when we return, we will kickstart today fully.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on e-vibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
So I should try harder. So
okay, I don't know that one.
Outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that. That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hubs on e-vibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
With a population of about 36 million people, the Southeast is awash with stories. Every day on Southeast News, we tell the peculiar story of the Southeast and her people.
Our Southeast should be the Silicon Valley of Nigeria.
Their successes, achievements, and daily challenges. Do you have a Southeast story to share? Community achievements and challenges.